Right, we are live. All good. I need an audio and visual comms check before we can crack on. Waiting for that now. Hey, John Farley, thank you for that, sir. Appreciate it. Beard Box, how's it going, sir? Awesome. Carl McPhee, brilliant. Okay, we're good. So, what we're going to talk about today then? This. Now, I've mentioned this, gee whiz, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But the thing is, this information, it's been pretty much lost in old videos, mixed in with all sorts of other stuff. Let me just come out of chat. It's just crazy. We've got 116 right now. If you can share it, get it out there, thumbs up, that really helps. Yes, I've been talking about this for a long time now, and it was very, very strange. I bumped into a friend of mine recently, and he started mentioning it, and I was going, bloody hell, I've been talking about it for years. But the weird thing is, I've heard no one else talk about this, and it feels like I sort of come up with this idea a long time ago, put it out there, you know, hidden in live streams. So I've decided to put it in its own live stream so people can find it easier. I used to do Intel update videos back about a year or two ago with all sorts of information just mixed matched in there. So when I say I've talked about this years ago, people say, oh, where is it? I say, good luck finding it. So hopefully doing it this way, people can find it easier. So right, yes, prisons in the UK. I'm sure most of us are aware now that it's been put out there in the mainstream recently that there is an absolute genuine crisis within the prison service. So we're going to go to the share screen. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 screens to share. So hopefully I can get these in order. So bear with me whilst we go through this. Let me just see where it is. Wow, there's a lot. Right, okay, cool. Sharing away, double check, sweet. Here we go. There's this AI overview bullshit, which is taken over Google now. The UK prison system is facing a crisis due to overcrowding, which is caused by too many people being sent to prison or kept in prison for too long. That's the bottom line of it, to be fair. There's all sorts. Look at this. Sky News. Only 100 spaces left in male prisons. This was 2 days ago. Okay. There is all sorts being talked about in the press about the problems that we are having here in the UK. We've been seeing civil unrest. We've seen protests. We've seen riots, stabbings. It's UK is turning into a dangerous place. And in fact, I remember seeing a survey only the other day, and it put Britain in #2 spot in the most dangerous place in the world right now, based upon the crime. That's bonkers. But this is what they're talking about. So we got problems at prisons, not enough room. We spoke about this about 2 years ago now. Excuse me. That we heard in 2020, smart prisons. Okay. Here we go. Just go into your search engine, UK's smart prisons. Look at this. Once completed, the new facility will be the third of 6. It was 5. Now you've put an extra prison in. Of 6 prisons to be completed as part of the new prisons program. The first, HMP 5 Wales, was opened this year. This was in 2022, 2 years ago. Whilst HMP Fossway in Leicestershire is still being built. Apparently that's completed now and due to open in 2023. So that's 2. So 6 smart prisons. 6 smart prisons. You can just do a search on it and it's all there. Okay. But guess what? From the Barking and Dagenham Post, this is just over a year ago. Okay, work to create 20,000 new prison places, significantly behind schedule. Well, there's a surprise. But we read on, and this is quite strange. I want you to get in on this. By the 5th of June this year, so this was last year. So the 5th of June last year, 5,202 new places had been created, including Britain's newest prison, Fossway in Leicester. Figures released by the Ministry of Justice, this was a year ago, revealed, more than 85,000 inmates are now locked up in England and Wales, and the number is projected to reach 93,200 by this year. It'd be interesting to know what the current figures are, and it would be interesting to see if this figure is quite accurate. Who really knows? But look at this. This is in quote. England and Wales has the highest imprisonment rate in Western Europe of 140 per 100k head of population. This was last year. I would say that this has jumped forward big time. So we read on. The government announced Operation Safeguard. I talked about this on live stream last year, which allows for the use of up to 400 police cells to hold people overnight when there is not enough space in a local prison. I shit you not. This is probably a lot worse than we probably realize and what we're being told. So when you consider the prisons are in shit street, dire straits, there's hardly any spaces left. We've already been hearing that Herr Starmer has been ordering people for early release to make room for 500 places in prison because people were posting things online and they've ended up in prison. Yes. So they've released early 500 criminals all over the UK, and they're putting people inside for typing something on a computer. Wow. Don't get me started on all of the other stuff that's going on about that. So the stuff that I've been talking about for a few years now, and I've decided to put in here, just propose this. Okay. Now, I can't say if this is going to happen. If it does, I don't know when it's going to happen. But when you consider the state of the prison crisis and the situation there, wouldn't it be an idea to use facilities that are pretty much already in place? You know, it's going to take 4, 5 or 6 years to build 5 or 6 prisons. So when you look at 2,500 self-storage facilities all over the UK, so think about it, engage your brain for a second. Self, as in yourself, myself, self-storage, storing for self, storing people in times of crisis. Now, this may shock you. It shocked me. This is how many facilities there are in the UK, and this is where they are. Unbelievable. Now, the shaded areas, which we are seeing here, are densely populated urban environments. Okay. The red dots are the storage facilities, and the black dots are pretty much shipping containers, that sort of thing. So we're mainly focused on the red dots. Okay. Lots. But look at the areas. Look at the areas where lots of the crime recently has been happening. You can pretty much see there's an overwhelming lump of them there. London is swamped, etc. And we're looking at the West Midlands there too. So that just gives you an idea of how many of these storage facilities there actually are. Like I say, 2,500 of them. So, okay, we'll do a little bit of digging around. So, what's the biggest? Well, here it is. I'm sure you've already seen these where you are. Big Yellow Group PLC, private limited company. And this company has been doing so well, it's entered the FTSE 250 index. So we're talking London Stock Exchange, okay? Big Yellow has the highest brand awareness in the whole sector. So this is huge. Excuse me. This was founded in 1998 by a guy called Nicholas Vetch. and I've highlighted it there so we can see it. Okay, but look at the revenue as a business. It's insane. 188.8 million per year. This was last year. Okay, also Safe Store, Lock and Store, Public Storage, there are other brands within it. So yes, this is by far the biggest in the UK, owned by Mr. Nicholas. What do we know about Nicholas? Well, here he is, co-founder of the Big Yellow Group. And you can do a search on him and you think, oh, what's this? USPUK, Nicholas Fetch, CBE, chairman of the board. Look at this, the government's Homes for Ukraine scheme. That made me sit up and listen a little bit. So I thought, okay, we'll go and see what's been going on. But recently, with all of the trouble that the UK has been experiencing, what do? We follow the money. This is the first on YouTube, so we're exposing what we can find out. Look at the price, the share price in the last 6 months. It's going up and up and up. Look, you can tell. Yeah, 1,246 per share is an insane price for a PLC. Now that is not all. Okay, I don't know if any of you guys have been inside these self-storage facilities. I had a look inside one once, and the prices that they are asking to store something is a lot of money for what you actually get. So if you haven't seen, or even if you have seen, let me just see. Right, here we go. So inside, these are what they look like inside. Look at these. Do you think you could put prisoners inside? Absolutely. Why wouldn't you? In fact, these places inside are so secure, it'd be crazy not to. But look at it. Look how similar they are to prisons. Any of you guys that have done Bird, you'd know what I'm talking about. The wings, it's pretty much all laid out in the same configuration. Okay. I just wanted to draw your attention to that because not everyone has seen inside these. Like I said, self-storage, storage for oneself. These places are highly secure. And we're going to go into that a little bit in a minute, okay? You can just almost see prison cells. It wouldn't take much to someone to scribble the names of the inmate on the side with a permanent marker or have little whiteboards or whatever it is, okay? It's shocking. And like I say, when you consider there's around 2,500 of these all over the UK right now, and some of them are in urban black spots, which we've just pointed out on the map there. Again, the corridors, they all look very, 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 very similar to what you would expect from a temporary holding area. Every door is locked. Every door is secure. Every corridor has security, cameras, motion sensors, lighting. It's all there. It's all ready. So when you just remember what you've just seen there, okay, I want to show you the similarities. Look, very, very, very similar indeed. All of the wings, all of the cells, you could absolutely store people. But no one is talking about this. No one has put it out there. When I say the inside was secure, wow. What about the outside? In fact, we're going to have a good look in a minute. There are always big places outside for vehicles to drop off. Can you see inside there where you can have transport, vans, vehicles to drop off inmates, prisoners. All of them have these up and over doors. Every single one of them. They all have the same. In fact, if you've been to a self-storage facility, or even if you work inside one, if you're a security bod or an SIA and you work in one of these places, you can say whatever you feel you need to say, but you know what I'm talking about. All of these places, some of them are inside towns, most of them are outside of towns, making it absolutely perfect to transfer prisoners. Think about it. 2,500 of these all over the UK. And when I say security, 100%. There are literally cameras everywhere, patrols. All of these facilities are secure. I mean, look at this. You could just imagine it, can't you? Vehicle turns up, gets checked, the sliding doors open, the vehicle goes in. One of these doors open, reverses, the prisoner gets escorted inside, and then reverse. These places are highly secure. I've worked in the security industry. I've patrolled buildings. I've seen how secure some of these places are. And yes, it all seems to be a bit of an elephant in the room to me. Absolutely. Like I say, I've not heard anyone talking about this before. So cast our mind back to our learner friend, Mr. Vetch, who we talked about briefly earlier. So we scroll up to the top, the conduit. A year on, the Homes for Ukraine scheme, okay, about resettling refugees. We've already talked about Serco and their role in moving migrants around the UK. Well, it seems Nicholas Vetch, Ukrainian sponsorship pathway, like we said, the USPUK is a registered charity that helps displaced Ukrainians come to the UK as part of the government Homes for Ukraine scheme. It was recently ordered the CBE for services to refugees. There are all sorts of articles about this guy and his involvement with moving migrants, refugees, asylum seekers, whatever people want to call them, moving them around within the UK. Now, here is one place that I've seen when I used to live in Portsmouth. Here is one example, okay? Absolutely massive facility. This particular one is inside city limits. As you can see, secure fencing, there are cameras, floodlights. We have security doors which get locked at night. We have sensors. We have places for prisoners to be dropped off. Within inside this quite a modest sized facility, I wouldn't like to guess, see there's cameras everywhere, how many people can be stored in facilities like this. Like I say, high fencing, floodlit, sensors, cameras, totally 100% secure. All you need are security guards who know this shit, and there you have it. Just because these facilities haven't been used already, who's to say they won't be in the future? When you take into consideration the craziness of what's going on in prisons at the moment, it could be just a matter of time. Just imagine if the preparedness bill gets passed with the WHO and they enforce all sorts of crazy things. Anyone disobeying curfews, lockdowns, not wearing masks, all of that sort of thing. What about Emergency Powers Act, which the UK government could have under an emergency, like what happened in 2020? Who's to say that they can commandeer these buildings, empty them, and all of a sudden start having prisoners within them? How many migrants have come to the UK? How many of them are involved with the UN? How many of them are working in security? These people wouldn't give two farts about being a security guard in a place like that, looking over people who say things against the system. It's a scary, pondering thought to try and let it sink in. But nonetheless, it could happen. Because when you see the amount of crime going up, the amount of police officers leaving the force, where are all these criminals going to go? Something to ponder. Owen Gray, thank you for the donation there. What does he say? Put us all in prison. They won't have a problem anymore. Crazy. In fact, one of them, it come out the top in the UK, was a prison in Wales. Every room has got its own shower. People have internet access, phones, tablets, etc. Unbelievable. It turned out to be in the top 5 in the world of the coziest prisons. So take it or leave it. That's what's going on. Carl McPhee, thank you very much for the donation behind the scenes and for your continued support. It really does help the channel. If you guys can share this on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Telegram is the big thing at the moment. Everyone's on Telegram groups. So if you can get this on there, get people into the comment section to have what they think about the information that I presented, because it could happen. Who's to say it won't? No one really knows, but it's something to keep an eye on. So if you start to see security measures be ramped up in these types of facilities, it might be an idea to keep an eye on it, because it could all of a sudden become a holding facility for inmates. Who knows? So you guys, thank you very much for supporting the channel. Thank you for sharing the video. Thanks for the moderators. If you hit the thumbs up and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. You guys take care. Thanks for watching. Stay funky.